what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the Cardiac Cats, the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, do me a favor, if you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I'm up to 2,453. I'm kind of steadily just staying there. I haven't moved up or down in like 3 days. So if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter X and you haven't subscribed to my channel, why not? Help these numbers go up. Do me a favor. Go to YouTube channel Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for notification. Every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, shout out to everybody on ZTV Online. If you have not went to the website there and checked it out, you can go to ZTV Online or ZTV Cincinnati, and I'm live streaming right there. You can do that. You can also make a donation to the show if you would like. I'd appreciate that. Right there on ZTV Online. And as always, I'm coming to you live from this glorious place down there. It's the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. So if you need a house, a condo, an apartment you're looking for, if you got a rental property you just don't want to manage anymore, give T Properties a shot, and they will take care of the rest. And you know it. I'm wearing it today. I got the hat on. I got the shirt on, but, you know, we hit the jackpot when we drafted Joe Burrow. Like I said, I think we hit the jackpot when we signed Jake Browning because Minnesota, you should have never effing cut him, but I'm glad you did. Anyway, if you guys want any of the merchandise, go to jackpotjoey9.com. The beer is delicious, and it's right there in front of me. It's delicious and award-winning. It is at Brink Brewery. So portions of the proceed for all of this goes to the Joe Burrow Foundation. So you're not only drinking delicious beer, wearing cool stuff, you're supporting a great cause. And I'll get this out here before I get to the chat. Tomorrow night, everybody, I'm doing a live show from Brink Brewery. Get there, and we will be giving away Bengals Browns tickets. Now, the way to sign up for it, an easy way to do it is go to ZTV Online or ZTV Cincinnati. They have a link there where you can sign up. I think there's going to be some signups at Brink Brewery, but I know you can sign up online. We will be giving the tickets away right there on the show. Also, we'll be giving away some stuff from, I'll make sure I say their name right because I've been saying it wrong. Let's see here. It is Gathered Threads. I'll make sure I kept saying Common Threads. Gathered Threads. We'll be giving away some merchandise there. So make sure you show up. We're going to have a great time. Me, my co-host, Joe Farsing from the Riverfront's going to be there. You guys can get there, drink some delicious Jackpot Joey beer, and have some fun. What's up to everybody in the chat? Strangers in the first. Tebow, I like the new icon. Everybody's doing the Fungo Pop thing. I got to figure out how to do that to make a Strawberry Ice one. Rocket Bengal, Paul's in there. Samuel, what is up? All right, let's get to my man here. Now, I'm so happy I finally got this done. Last time I did a live show, Eliot was going to be on, and then Joey Carr showed up late, and Eliot couldn't get on, and it was a mess. And anyway, I made sure I slotted out a whole hour for Eliot. So if you ever watch Eliot on Chatterbox, he's a sports reporter. He's a unretired gambler. He has this interesting relationship with Marty Brennaman. He's a weatherman. I mean, he's a jack of all trades. Some people say master of none. Well, let's see. Let's get to Eliot. What is up, Eliot? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man. Good. So are you retired or are you back to gambling again? I'm getting confused.
We're back. We're all the way back. Listen, sometimes the best at anything, really, right? Michael Jordan took the break from basketball. Some were saying because there was some gambling going on, there was a silent suspension. That's not what I believe. I think the very best at what they do have to take a break from time to time. And when I go on and gamble, sometimes I just need a break. Like what sparked that retirement was losing 15 straight bets, and I had to take the break. I had to do it. But I'm back now. Because here's the thing. You are one parlay away, always, at all times, no matter when. You are one parlay away from generational wealth, Mr. Strawberry Ice. One parlay.
There you go. Now, how does Marty Brennaman feel about your betting prowess? I mean,
I don't think he likes it very much. I don't think he appreciates it one bit. But go ahead. Sorry.
You two crack me up when you guys go back and forth with Marty because you can just see the old. Marty's old. You know, he's in his 70s. The old grumpy man come out in Marty. You bring it out the best for him.
Listen, Marty's used to dealing with the higher ups, the most important journalists in the city. When he gets to goof around with me, I see the little spark in his eye, and it might come off as annoyance or something like that, but I see it as a spark. It's a glimmer of hope in his eyes.
Exactly. So for anybody who doesn't know who you are or what show you're on, give everybody a little background. I'm pretty sure people know who you are, but just give everybody a little background.
Well, yeah, thank you. If you don't know who I am, you very much should. I am a Cincinnati Z-list celebrity, so please, Z-list. You should know who I am.
Hey, and good thing we're on ZTV. We have a
ZTV.
Z-list celebrity.
How about that? No, my name's Eliot. Listen, I'm from the west side of Cincinnati. This is the
west side, baby.
The best side. This is a west side sports show. I have to represent. I am an Elder boy. For all those who know and are familiar with Elder High School, I went to Elder. I went to then Toledo University, then to University of Cincinnati, transferred. Then I went to 700 WLW, where I worked as a producer with Mo and Tony and Austin and all those great guys up there, Taryn, everybody up there. And then from there, I moved to Chatterbox Sports. Now, Chatterbox Sports, we have a YouTube channel. We have a podcast. I work with Tom Brenneman, the legendary broadcaster. So we do a show every day, 10 to 12 on the Chatterbox YouTube channel. It's a very fun show, just like this show. Very fun.
Exactly. I don't with my schedule right now, I don't get to listen to it as much as I normally do. That's why on Tuesday I jumped in the chat and said, "Yeah, I can't wait for you to come on tonight." And you're like, "Huh?" Like, oh yeah, it's Thursday. Never mind. I get my days confused.
So you're a third shifter, right? Is that right?
Yeah. I work at UPS, so it's Christmas, so we start really early.
Oh my goodness. So when I worked at 700, we did I would work hours that are just brutal. I think I worked one day. I got in there at, I want to say 3 a.m. and I worked until I want to say 7 p.m. Ooh. And I'm just some of those days, man, they get to you. So I know how those early morning shifts are. We had to work. We had to work until my normal weekday shift. I'm rambling. I'm sorry if I ramble. My weeknight shift is like I worked 5:30 p.m. to like 1:30 a.m. So my schedule was all over. So I know how you feel. Those schedules are brutal.
Yeah, they suck. Now Paul here says you're Segman's grandson.
I don't think so. Not by relation, at least. Not by relation. He's a big what is he? He's a big NASCAR guy. I'm not a NASCAR guy. I'm not a NASCAR guy.
Now you got to do me a favor, since you have personal relationship with the man, Tony Pike.
Oh no!
For some reason,
oh no!
You followed this summer.
No, I know all about this.
He's ducking and diving. I mean, he went on my boy Trag's podcast. He's been on Chatterbox. He goes on everybody's podcast. But for some reason, he won't come on mine. I don't know. He's scared of me or what's going on with this.
I think that's what it is. I just think I think it's fear. I think it's a fear of being in the presence of greatness. And clearly somebody needs to talk to Tony and get through his mind that this is just a quality program. And I don't know why you can't see it. I think Austin was on this show, right?
Austin's been on the show. Skinny's been on the show. Hell, I had Graham Ashcraft on the show.
The whole channel's been on the show. The whole station.
Right. I mean, I've had everybody except Mo's been on the show. I mean, his boy Paul Danner's been on the show. I mean, except Tony. I don't get it. I don't know.
You know what you got to just like pepper him with compliments. He really likes that. Maybe tell him
I told him I'd buy a beer. I said I'd give him some Jack by Joey beer.
I don't know if he wants the beer. I think what you need to do, you just need to write an official letter to the University of Cincinnati and make sure Pike is in the Ring of Honor. That's what this comes down to.
Actually, I agree with that. I think Pike should be in the Ring of Honor.
Absolutely. He has the greatest play in the University of Cincinnati football history.
I was there, dude. I know everybody says that, but I was actually there. We went to that game. That was the most up and down game, or not up and down, because I thought we were going to lose. I'll be honest. I thought we were going to lose the whole time. And then it had Marty Gilliard had the kickoff return, and then they had the Pike to Benz, and I'm like, holy crap. I've never been so excited. And I loved it. The Pittsburgh fans were so sad. They were so shocked that they lost to us, and I was enjoying every freaking minute of it. It was so cool.
Thank God we don't do that BCS nonsense anymore, because that team should have played for a Final Four, at least, and played for some sort of championship.
At least got a shot at it.
Yeah, seriously, the BCS is not college football right now. Is nonsense too.
Yeah, I think Florida State's got screwed. To be honest, I mean,
here's my thing, and I might ramble again, but I get very frustrated when I think about it. When we look back at that UC team that made the Final Four, right? that team, there were all kinds of naysayers, all kinds of arguments preventing them from being in the Final Four, which I kind of understand. They played in the American Conference. They didn't play anybody. They almost lost to Navy on the road. They were a fumble away from losing to Tulsa at home. There was just a lot of bad games there. But at the end of the day, they won all their games. They deserved to be in. They deserved that spot. Florida State played all of their games to the best of their ability.
With the backup quarterback.
Yeah, it's not the Florida State quarterbacks. It's the Florida State Seminoles. They play as a team. You lose one guy. It's next man up mentality. That's how sports works. That's why everybody watches sports. There's 25 different injuries for quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Do we just say the Bengals are dumb because we have Jake Browning? That's not what sports are. You play everybody to the best of their ability. If they're out, next guy goes in, you play. They won all of their games they deserve to be in. It's nonsense to think otherwise. And I know Kirk Herbstreit and the rest of that college football committee, and that's what I call them, everybody up there that has on the game day probably gets the vote for their little committee, and they got together and like, oh, well, what if we watch this game and it's a blowout? Spoiler, every single game that happens in these playoffs has been a blowout. The average margin of defeat is 17 points. What are you saving? What are you stopping? What are you preventing here? And that's my biggest issue. I'm sorry for rambling, but it's just
you're good. No,
Florida State got screwed.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. And the thing is, what I keep saying, like, well, what's the best team on paper? I'm like, that's not what we're trying to do here. You have five power conferences in 4 spots. So if the team wins one of the power 5, they should automatically be in. I mean, and don't give me this crap where, they got a backup quarterback. Yeah. Ohio State, they had a backup quarterback. They had their third string. And they came back and won the whole freaking thing. So it's just like we're saying with the Bengals right now, just get into the playoffs. You never know what's going to happen. These kids, and DJ Reed, they had a great tweet. You're punishing 26, 27, or 36 kids, however many are on a roster, because of one. That's stupid. I mean, that's not their fault. And they did everything they're supposed to do. Let them go out there and prove it on the field if they're supposed to win. Elliot, it's all money. You can't have the BCS. You can't have it without the Big Ten in. You can't have it without the SEC. They want those 2 teams in. Whoever is in there, the best team from the Big Ten, the best team from the SEC, they got to have them in. That's the reason that Florida State, I think, got penalized.
And that's 100% true. It's always been about the money. It always will be about the money. Now more than ever with the NIL. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens from now until forever with the 12-team playoff here, with the super conferences starting and all of this stuff. There's still going to be biases. There's still going to be a little bit of I don't want to say rigged, because sports aren't rigged, despite what conspiracy theorists say that sports are not rigged yet. But here's what's going to happen now. There's going to be teams on the outside looking in, like a mediocre SEC team, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is now going to sit at 13 and say, why don't we get to go in? And these arguments will never stop. But now, at least with the 12-team playoff, even with all the money factoring in, now it's going to be at least more fair. It's never going to be perfect, but now it's more fair. So I guess good on that.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always wondered, what took them so long to do that. And they kept saying, the kids got to go to class. I'm like, dude, the last game the regular season is Thanksgiving. They don't play. I mean, they started playing bowl games now, but they didn't really start playing bowl games until Christmas or New Year's. You had like a whole month of no college football for years. And it's not like the kids are in class during this time. They get winter break. So I mean, that whole narrative where, we can't do it because of this. We got to have the bowl games to have their money. Cool. They can have their money, but their bowl game is part of the playoff. It's just, I don't understand what took so freaking long to figure this out. And the 12 teams, we're going to have less arguments, because I don't really think, the 13th best team didn't get in. It's like, they're. I'll watch it be UC next year, and I'll be pissed. But
it won't be UC. I promise. I'll promise you that.
But Satterfield is going to turn it around, Elliot. Come on.
If you think Satterfield's turning this ship around, you haven't been paying attention. I say that with love and respect, but everybody knew this was a bad hire. I don't understand why they did it. He was forced out of Louisville. Everybody wanted him gone. They threw parties as soon as he left Louisville. Mm-hmm. And now he's here. And listen, I'm not going to say last year's schedule was cake, right? When you play Oklahoma, it's never really that easy. How easy can your schedule be? But last year's schedule for a Big 12 team was pretty damn easy. And the fact that they weren't even close to competitive is nuts.
Yeah, it was very disappointing. People kept asking me, like, how you feel about the hire? I'm like, well, I'm not ecstatic about it, because like you said, I don't think Louisville wanted him. And everybody said, well, you're probably pretty ecstatic when you got Luke. I was like, actually, not really, because he was a failed head coach at Ohio State. So it wasn't like he's not Luke going to Wisconsin from UC. He's coming from Ohio State, where it's like, I hope he does good. And I'm like, I hope Satterfield does good. But dude, I'm like, and I'm one that like you have to give guys 3 years.
100%. 100%.
So, I mean, it's not looking good. I'll put it to you that way. They are signing some guys. They got to get a quarterback. That's the biggest thing is they have to have a quarterback because they just didn't have one this year. But we'll see. I want to give them another 2 years. Now that's where I'm at with Wes Miller, and what's scaring me with him is
I don't know.
Elliot, they don't show up for big games. And I love Wes Miller. I love what he's doing. I love that he has embraced the UC history. He brings back, the guy, the older Bearcat to put behind the bench and everything. I love all that stuff. I like his energy. I love his recruits. But for some reason, his teams are not ready for big games. And I'm hoping to be wrong, but this Big 12 is scaring me because, dude, we talked about this before the show started. We were shooting the ball lights out, going to cross-town shootout. We can't hit the broadside of a barn. It looks like a McCurdy coach team, and Xavier is always just throwing the ball at half court, and it's going in. It drives me insane. I know I just rambled on there, but I'll let you go ahead and speak on that.
Well, no, and you're right. And again, Wes Miller, here's the thing. North Carolina wanted Wes Miller. Yeah. North Carolina wants him, and I still think they do want him. Mm-hmm. The issue with Wes now is if he continues this trend, nobody is going to want him. It's no, mystery that UC's kind of a stepping stone program, right? That's in football and in basketball. You saw it with Mick Cronin. You're seeing it with Luke Fickell. Everywhere you go, it's you don't think of UC
basketball a little less than football. We've a
little less, but it's still we're not a blue blood. I think UC basketball is a top 25 program of all time.
Absolutely.
But it's not a blue blood, and people will always want those higher up, especially Wes Miller, who played for North Carolina, who loved Roy Williams. Roy Williams loved him, and all that connection. Saying all that, right now you're looking at a UC team who is lost. And I don't blame Wes Miller for the first 2 years. I want to make something very clear. John Brannon poured gasoline over this program and lit a match, set it on fire.
It's kind of like when Nancy Zucker did the same thing when Hugs out and Mick Cronin had trapped for 3 years.
That's right. And it was disheveled. The program was dismantled, tore apart. We had a NBA player in Tari Eason who transferred halfway through a season because John Brannon didn't know what he was doing. and Wes Miller had to take over all of that and try to find wins. Right now, though, this is the first real year with Wes's guys in here, right? And it's UC kind of gave him. UC makes this schedule, and it's a cakewalk non-conference schedule. I mean, you take a look at these opponents. This is terrible. Mm-hmm. They did that because they probably knew what they were getting into when you get into the Big 12, which is the best basketball conference in the country by far. And right now, what you're seeing, I think, is a team that was accustomed to playing these terrible teams, and now they somewhat lost a little bit of their rhythm when they got rudely awakened up by Xavier at the Cintas Center. And then you saw I was at that US Bank game against Dayton when the
Dayton Invitational where it was a freaking Dayton home game basically.
It was 95% Dayton fans.
I could not believe the Bearcat fans did not show up. I mean, I wanted to go, but Elliot, I worked that Saturday, so I had been up since 1:55 a.m. and went to the Bengals game. I went home, took a nap to make sure I could wake up and watch the game. There's no way in hell I could have made it to the game, but I was shocked that there wasn't more, at least half and half, Bengals or Bearcats Flyers fans.
And that says a lot. And I got people who yelled at me this past summer when I was saying, hey, guys, the Reds are in a playoff race. Maybe we should have more than 6,000 people there on the last 14 games of the season, right? Maybe. And then I got, the gas is expensive. I got all these excuses. So I back off that now. Everybody do what you want with your money. But I'm saying when UC's playing in Cincinnati and we have 75% Dayton fans there, that's a problem. That's a problem. And I'm not telling you how to spend your money. But if you're a fan of UC and you're like, well, why are there so many Dayton fans there? And you're sitting at home, I don't know what to tell you because it was just brutal. But anyway, I was there. And it was a massacre. It was a slaughter from the get-go. They look lost. I don't think there's an identity with this team. I don't know who the leader is. Wes Miller needs to bring it together because unfortunately, Wes Miller is this year and next year away. Next year is the last year.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
If we can't pull something together here, this is over.
Yeah, and the thing, I'm like, what the player that surprised me is Skillings. Like, what happened to him? He looked like the leader, the go-to guy, all the way up to the Xavier game, and he's been non-existent. I mean, hell, he couldn't even hold onto the ball the other night. I mean, none of the Bearcats could hold onto the ball, but Skillings, I think, turned it over 3 times. We had 18 total turnovers.
These turnovers are killing me. They're so sloppy with the basketball. They're not great on defense. And I know they were missing a couple guys, but it's Merrimack. I mean, it's I can't help you out. It's Merrimack.
Yeah.
So at this point in the season, Dan Skillings, I agreed with you. I before the season, I thought he was going to be the guy. I thought he was going to be the guy that you look back at the season, you say, this was our leader. This was the guy who stepped up. He's not been that guy yet. He had a couple great games early on, but again, you're playing very bad competition. You're playing teams in Ken Palm. I don't know if you look at Ken Palm, but they're playing teams in Ken Palm that are ranked 200, 300. It's just like 170. It's just like, but then there's sparks where it's like you beat Georgia Tech by 30. And this is a Georgia Tech team who's beaten Duke, Mississippi State.
Well, that's when we're hitting the outside shots. That's been, I think, our biggest problem. We're hitting the outside shots, and we're not. And I don't get how that happened. How you can go from being an over 50%, outside shooting team and making it to like about 30%, within a span of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If that to me, that's the biggest thing is they were relying on that, and those shots are not going in. That's messing them up. They're because they're trying to do a lot of high-low. Vic is driving me nuts. He is he's such a talented player, but he's such a soft pass-first guy. There's so many times where I'm like, because Terry Nelson's been on the show a couple times. Yeah, he's so close. Like, grab the ball and freaking dunk it, jamming it down their throat. And Vic just went to these little floaters, and he can make them. But it's like, you're 7 feet tall, dude. Act like it. Dunk the ball. Break your freaking arm on the rim. Make them not want to get go up to try to block it. And we don't have. Fredericks is the only guy I've seen that we have that from. Everybody else is kind of too soft as far as our big man goes. Because, dude, my area is Eric Martin, Terry Nelson, Corey Blunt, Danny Fortson, Kenny Martin. Where you don't go in the middle. We're knocking your ass on the ground or we're blocking your shot. We don't have. I haven't seen that at all from these guys.
Victor Locken, and again, I think he's very good at basketball, very, very good, but he's not a true center. I think he's like a power forward hybrid, somewhat like a Kristaps Porzingis, if you will. He's especially this year more than ever. He's popping threes for some reason. He's making a decent amount of them, but he's not doing what you're saying he should do. And I agree with you. You have to be strong with the ball. Go up with the ball, big fella. Put it in the hoop. I mean, I don't know what. And again, against Merrimack, I don't know what his deal was. But he always was looking to pass.
Right.
That's not your job, man.
Like he'd be like a foot from the rim and he's passing. Like, shoot it.
and Aziz, Aziz, my guy Aziz, he's a phenomenal defender. He's amazing beneath the rim. Amazing. But on offense, he's not great. But the one thing Aziz does is he always goes up with the ball. He's going to go up with the ball. He's not doing hook shots. He's not doing floaters. He's going up with the basketball. And that's what Victor Locken should be doing. And again, Victor Locken right now has been our best player by far. I think it should be Jizzle James. Jizzle James should get more minutes. I think he should be. And again, he only had 4 points against Merrimack, so maybe what do I know?
What's your thoughts on Day and James playing at the same time? I like it.
I love it, but they both got to step up a little bit. And I guess when you're both kind of point guards and you're both trying to figure out that situation, none of them are great outside shooters. Jizzle or Day, they're not great outside shooters.
Right.
But you have to have some cohesion. I think I like that pairing though going forward. I think that'll help the team.
Well, I'll put it if it works. I like it for the NCAA tournament. You need guards and you need big guys. This team needs somebody who can make a shot when they need it. And this is what drives me nuts with the big guys. Like, there were so many times, especially against Merrimack, I'm like, put your big ass on the block, throw the ball down low, and dunk on them. You're bigger than them. Do that. I'm like, I don't understand, and that's part of basketball. I think that's going away that I miss. Even NBA's a lot of outside shooting, three-point stuff, but you're 7 feet tall. Act like it, and that's what I think this team needs. We don't have that guy that we need a shot. They need to stop a run. Give it to him. Well, I thought it was Skillings, but it hasn't been. Jizzle's tried to do it. He hasn't been consistent at it. That's what this team is missing, I think, big time, is that one player to go, all right, give me the ball, get out the way, I'll make the shot, or I'll make the play to give you a shot to make it. One of the two.
One of the best guys on the team this year, in my opinion, has been John Newman. I think Newman's been the leader of this team. If you had to give me a player to pick from, I think he's the guy. I think he's great. I don't know why John Newman doesn't drive to the hoop every time. That guy is strong. He is confident. He's ready to score. That's a guy I want to step up more. That's a guy offensively, at least. I want him to be a part of the offense more. He's not a great shooter, but he'll drive to the hoop. He'll get a couple free throws up there. That's what I want. This 3-point shooting stuff, I know that's the way basketball is now. Shout out Steph Curry. He changed the game of basketball.
Yeah.
Every team
I wish you wouldn't have.
Well,
I'm old, man. I'm 48. I'm 80s, 90s basketball, dude.
I agree with you. I think that's a style of basketball that's at least more fun to watch. Just big guys going up, down, low. But right now, it's not the way the game's played. You put up 25 3-pointers a game, and God willing, you make at least 33% of them. And that's just not been the case for UC lately. CJ Frederick's a guy that needs to step up. He plays 20 minutes. He shoots threes. If he misses those threes, he really doesn't contribute to this team whatsoever. He's not a great defender. He's not great at driving. Right. I think he's a decent mid-range shooter. He's a very good shooter. He's a very good shooter all around. But if we're gonna chuck up threes, we got to make 33% at least.
Exactly. All right, I got a couple comments here in the chat I want to get to here. We'll move on to the Bengals here. Paul says, ask Eliot about the Madden showdown.
I don't know if you saw this. Did you see this?
No, I have not.
So we played a Madden tournament in the office. It was me, Reed Mouse. He works for Chatterbox. Parker Blake, I'm sure you know, he's a Bengals guy. He's an offensive lineman. He's an offensive line coach. And we have Drew Garrison. He's
Pancake, by the way. You got to call him Pancake, Parker.
I'm going to call him Pancake. I'm going to pancake his ass.
Yeah, he'll know where that came from.
Okay, I will. And then we had Drew Garrison, which, as all Bengals fans know, he's on Bengals Twitter. And we were playing a Madden tournament. We were just playing 1v1, see what was going to happen. I was playing against Drew, and what happened was, I'm not good at the new Madden games. Ever since like Madden 25, back in Madden 25, not the year. It was just like I think it was the anniversary of Madden back in like 2013, maybe that was 14. Anyway, that's prime Madden. They made Madden and all these video games too realistic, where it's like, all these gamers out there, I'm not like, I just want to throw the ball and have my guy catch it. If it's like for a Hail Mary, I don't want
to be an old guy like me, Eliot.
Yeah, I don't want it to be realistic. I just want my guy, I want to throw and catch and have some fun. That's not what the game is now. That's not what it is. So right now, I was struggling throughout the game, but it got to a point where I could have taken the lead on Garrison. And my guy snapped it. I was playing with the Dolphins, and my guy Tyreek Hill my guy Tua Tagovailoa threw it up to Tyreek Hill. And he was running down. I had a wide open touchdown. This was to win the game. This was to win the game, Jeff. And at the end of the run, I accidentally hit a button, and it flipped the ball backwards, and I lost the game. And I didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know what I hit, and I found out you hit the little trigger thing, and then it flipped it back, and I lost. It was a disaster. It was a catastrophe.
That would be something I would definitely do. I've never been a good. Dude, I'm Atari. I was good at Pac-Man with it. They got rid of the joystick. Yeah, I kind of stopped playing video games then.
Did you have a what was the phone? What was the BlackBerry? Did you ever have a BlackBerry?
A Crackberry? Yeah, I had a Crackberry.
My dad had one, and there was a game. It was a brick something. It was Brick Breaker. You ever play Brick Breaker on the BlackBerry? That was my game.
Oh yeah,
that's a game we can do, baby.
I played Tetris, or no, it was Pong.
Pong, yeah.
Back in the day, where it was a dial, you swung it back and forth, and you had to keep the ball bounce up, and you'd try to break through the wall there.
Yes.
Like I said, I'm dating myself here. I'm old. All right, let's get to Tebow's comment here or question here. Eliot, do you have any hope or hopeful advice for my Ohio State basketball team? My ride or die, but we can never get over the hump.
Listen, I stopped watching them when Jared Sullinger eliminated us from the Sweet 16. That was about the last time I cared about Ohio State basketball. I wish you well in your quest, but unfortunately, not only do I not know the team, I don't care about the players or the team. So it's like Ohio State, they're dead to me. They're just dead to me. I get tired. I hear Ohio State fans all day long, and it's just like, oh my God. I wish I could have half the success that Ohio State has. Half.
Yeah, exactly. Now,
but I'll never have it.
The funny thing is we're talking about Blue Bloods, and ESPN was doing a ad for Ohio State versus Kentucky or somebody. I can't remember who they're playing, but it's a battle of the Blue Bloods. I'm like, never consider Ohio State blue blood as far as basketball goes. Football, yes. Basketball, no. I thought that was interesting there. I'm like, I
don't think they're even close. Aaron Kraft, the Aaron Kraft teams were good, and they've had a couple damn good seasons.
I mean, there was a team back in the day in 62, 63. I think beat them twice in the national basketball Oh,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I think they might have been going by the Bearcats. Anyway. All right, let's get to what I title the show is Bengals. Is this a must win? To me, Elliot, I'm my answer. It's a must win. It comes down to us or the Steelers. Excuse me, I cussed my own show. Us or the Squealers making the playoffs. If we don't win this game, it's going to be damn hard for the Bengals to make the playoffs.
If you don't win this game, I will call the season. Not because of mathematical reasons, because if you go by the math, obviously we'd still be in contention. This is a bad Steelers team. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you look at it. This is a Steelers team that if they go up against 90% of this league, they are underdogs, and they should be. They should be. You have Mason Rudolph as a quarterback.
Rudolph the red-nosed quarterback. Oh, sorry.
I mean, Mason Rudolph's best known for Amir Garrett taking a helmet to his head. That's what he's most known for.
That's why his nose is red.
That's exactly why his nose is red. But this is a team that you have to beat. And again, the only way they beat us is if Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris somehow combine for 150 yards like Devin Singletary did against us, and like half the running backs we play against just torch this defense. Just torch it. That's the only way I see them having a chance.
That's the scary part, Elliot. That's the scary part with DJ Reader being out. That's the part that scares me.
Yep, and that could happen. But again, you look at Najee Harris. Najee Harris is not that good. I mean, he's just not that good. Jaylen Warren's good. So we'll see. I think Jaylen Warren had an early fumble against us last time, which kind of shifted things to Najee Harris, and he pretty much controlled the entire game. But we should have won that game. We're one Jake Browning interception away in the red zone from winning that game. So I can see it. I can see it either way. Oh, I see my boy Everett's in this chat. Yeah, Everett. That is the Everett. That's the only way, Everett.
What is it? Paul saying y'all need to catch the show Reacher?
It's a show on Amazon Prime, I think. I think that's where it's the Jack Reacher.
Yeah. I know you're talking. Yeah. I love the movie. I have not watched the show yet. I'll have to check that out. Thanks, Paul. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, that's go back to your point there of the running game. That's the part that scares me. Now, one thing I said on the show, I said this yesterday with Trags, like with Tragley, is with Zach Carter making the stop, the fourth down stop, the third down stop in overtime. I'm hoping that gives him the confidence going, okay, I can do this, because let's be honest, he's got shoved around a lot. He has not been the 3-tech that the Bengals had drafted him to be. This is his time to put up or shove. He can get himself a potential longer NFL career, or we're going, holy crap, we got to hurry up and, re-sign DJ, and hopefully he comes back next year, and we're drafting somebody. This is a big test for Carter, Jay Tufele, Josh Tupou. All those three guys, to me, are the keys to this game. They gotta step up and stop that run, because the Steelers aren't throwing the ball. We know they're going to run the ball.
Yeah, and the other thing is my biggest thing. Those guys are important, obviously, but Hendrickson, Hubbard, get to the quarterback. Just get to Mason Rudolph. Put a little bit of pressure on this guy. He's going to make a mistake. He is going to. They can't run the entire game. They're going to have to throw the ball eventually. And once they do, capitalize on it. You saw it with Nick Mullins, and you might look at that game and you say, Nick Mullins, he kind of torched the Bengals defense. And he did. The Bengals defense hasn't been great. The secondary certainly hasn't been good. But when Nick Mullins had to make a big throw, he had interceptions. And that's what we have to do. You force turnovers. You make that guy throw the football, you're going to win this game. TJ Watt is fine, right? He's an elite defender, one of the very best there is in the NFL, maybe the best. But at the end of the day,
that had to hurt to say. That had to hurt to say.
It did hurt to say. It always hurts to say to compliment those bums. But that you have to give him props where props is due, and he is the lifeblood of that team. You could argue he's the best offensive player too, because I think he has a touchdown on the year. I think right now, if you're the Bengals, you take it down by down, series by series, and then you go away with the win. This is not a game you should be sweating. Don't take it lightly, because I think we look back at that Texans game, and that was a trap game. I called it. Shout out to me. I called that would be a trap game, and it was. This kind of seems like that, but the difference now is the Bengals are literally on. I'm not going to say life support, but they have to win the game. Your back's up against the wall still. You got to win the game. Mm-hmm. You have to.
Yeah, your boy here wants to know, is TJ a Chad?
Yeah, he's a Chad. Yeah, he's a Chad.
He's a Chad. People are starting to find you here.
Naughty 2 slurps. What are we doing? I mean, what the hell are we doing, Naughty 2 slurps, with that username?
That's elite right there. I like that.
I think he's been on off the bench a couple times as Naughty Two Slurps. Shout out him.
Oh, I love what you guys doing off the bench. Like I said, I wish I could. I like to say after the first of the year, I'll be able to start getting back on there and making some comments because I don't know if you noticed, but Tom was actually on my show a year ago.
That's right. I did hear about that. I don't know. Was Tom good? He's always.
Tom was amazing. Yeah. He's professional as always. It was interesting that he was standing in his kitchen, I think, doing because that's where he gets his best internet from. So I'm hoping to get him back on again sometime. And so other guys are from Chatterbox.
Speaking of internet, man, I'll tell you what. We go into the office now, and I don't know what kind of business they're running up there, and I don't know if you know anybody who works for Spectrum. If you do, I'm very sorry for what I'm about to say. But listen, this is a bum ass internet service, and whatever they do, whatever their cute little news station they run on Spectrum News, I don't want to know any of it. I don't want to see any of it. I don't care about any of it. Get rid of it and fix my internet. I go into the show now every single morning. We got internet problems every single morning. So I'm not going to fault anybody for going around their house to try to find a good internet spot because we got Spectrum and you got 95% of your house that you can't use internet for. It's just terrible. It gets me fired up. It gets me fired up.
Is it a Spectrum thing or is it a Hamiltucky thing?
No, it's a Spectrum thing because I have Spectrum. Here's the Spectrum. I think they're running. I'm not going to say this isn't a conspiracy or anything, but I think they're running some sort of illegal operation in my neighborhood because every night at 2:30 a.m. I'm not kidding you, Jeff. Every single night at 2:30 a.m. all of our Wi-Fi goes down, and it goes down for about 25 minutes, and it's just a mystery. Nobody knows what's happening.
Maybe this is like Chatterbox.
Maybe, but it's just like I get sick of it. But back to the Bengals. Sorry, I went off at a tangent again.
You're good, man. You're good. I was waiting for this. I wanted the Spectrum. I wanted you to go off on the Spectrum because you literally had shows where it's kind of just gone. The show's just gone for a little
the whole last week and a week and a half. The show just disappears for 2 minutes, and it's like, guys, we're trying to run a show here. And we're not Spectrum News. We're not the big leagues like you, but please let us have our show.
He's have somebody on there. Anyway, get back to the Bengals. What were we going to say about them? Well, I think we got a Steeler fan in here. He says Steelers will kick the Bengals' ass. All right, Chris, we'll find out. We'll see.
I don't think we will find out. I don't think that'll happen. Listen, it's no shock, and Tom pointed this out on the show this week. Steelers have a commanding lead over the Bengals all time, which I didn't know it was that bad. It's 69 to 39 all time.
They also have a commanding lead on cheap shots and hurting our players too. So I mean,
they do. Vontez tried his best. Vontez tried his damnedest to get back, but he still came up short. I think they've got a massive culture problem there. Whatever's going on in Pittsburgh right now too, with this Pickens situation. Deontay Johnson, I think, was crying the whole season, not trying on plays, not diving on footballs. So we'll see. I just think the Steelers right now, they're a banged up, beat up team. We're missing a couple key guys from the defense. Obviously, that guy who head speared Michael Pittman Jr. But right now, if you're the Bengals, you take this game one snap at a time and you beat a team that you should beat. If we score 17 points, we're winning this game. If we score 17, we're winning the game.
I mean, to be honest, we should. I mean, if you have the better quarterback, which we do, downtown Jake Brown, Jackpot Jakey, Shaking Jake Shiesty, Jakey Frost, whatever you want to call him.
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake. Sorry, I missed that one. I'll take him over. Sorry, Kenny pick six. I take him over him. So I mean, whichever quarterback you throw out there, we got the better quarterback, and most time you have that, you win. I think the Bengals. I'm hoping the Bengals take the coin flip. They win the coin flip, take the ball, go shove it down their throat, get the lead, and make them chase us because Pittsburgh ain't got an offense to come back.
Zero offense. And that's the part where I'm a little bit scared. And that's why that run game of theirs is so important. If they are able to control the rock and they're just able to score that first point, even if it's a field goal, touchdown, doesn't matter. If they're able to play with a lead and they can just run, then we're in trouble because that team cannot play from behind at all. Can't do it.
Exactly.
I dare Mason Rudolph to throw for more than 250 yards. I dare him. Can't happen.
If he does, his nose will get even redder than it already is. You know?
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some Reds conversation here, and we got rest of Paul here. He brought it up here. We get that comment up here. Is Will Benson every day? What's your thoughts on Will Benson? We'll go with that. Start off there.
No, he's not. If you look at Jake Fraley up until the last month of the season when he was playing on a broken foot, Up until that point, Jake Fraley was the better outfielder. Jake Fraley, especially in the clutch, I think he was the most clutch player by far last season. Anytime you needed a big hit, extra innings, bottom of the eighth, bottom of the ninth, didn't matter. I wanted Jake Fraley up against a right-handed pitcher. Will Benson was very, very good. I think Will Benson could be an everyday player in the future, but not next year, at least not to start. I don't think that they'll do it to start.
So, question with the excess of infielders, and this is the first thing that I thought of, and I've kind of said this from the get-go. And this is with the way the team is right now. And there's talk about moving Jonathan Indy to the outfield. There's talk about moving CES to the outfield. My thought process is move Ellie to center field. To me, he's the most athletic. I mean, if you ever watch him track a ball over his shoulder and do a basket, he can play the outfield. Now, I know that would hurt our infield defense. I mean, Matty Batch, you move him to shortstop, that's fine. India, he is what he is at second base. I mean, he gets the balls he gets to, he makes the plays on them. To me, if you have Ellie in the outfield, I would feel better with Ellie in the outfield instead of having TJ. I love TJ Friedel, but having TJ in center and having Steer and India on in left and right field on, because I don't, if you got Ellie out there and you got Steer and TJ Friedel or TJ Friedel and Steer, that outfield defense I think is better. That to me, that makes the overall defense better and is able to get everybody at bats. What's your thought?
I don't want to do it yet. I don't want to move him yet because he's a terrific infielder to have because of that arm strength. And it goes both ways, right? You put him in center field, he can gun down guys, tagging up at third, tagging up at second. But the thing with Ellie is I do think he's a very terrific defenseman. He didn't show it last year. There were sparks of it. There were blurs of it, but he made a ton of mistakes.
Yeah.
Just a ton of mistakes. And that's a position, obviously, which ensues where a lot of mistakes are forced upon him just because of how hard it is. It's a heavy demand position. Saying that, I don't want to move him to the outfield yet. I think I want to see more of him at shortstop. And if it's proven, Fernando Tatis, he was a terrible defender. They moved him to the outfield. Now he's serviceable. I think they're going to try to keep him there. I bet during spring training, though, you're going to see him play outfield. You're going to see Ellie take some reps in the outfield, and we'll go from there. But if it were up to me, I keep him in the infield. I let TJ play center. I put Bailey or Fraley and Benson in right, Steer and left.
And I think if you do that, so it still works out because you can have a rotation or however you want to put it with the infielders where everybody has a day off, which somebody said on the show this week, it's more of like load management like the NBA does, which is not a bad thing because I remember back in the day when Lou Piniella was the Reds manager, he gave guys days off a lot. I remember going to a game one time and none of the infield starters are in there. I was kind of disappointed. We ended up winning the game anyway, but that's kind of what I think is. I don't even say it's a new thing in baseball because I think they've done that in the past. But what the Reds have, they can. It's not you're not replacing a starter with a bench guy. You're replacing a starter with a starter, so you're not going to lose anything. Plus, we have the DH now, so even if you keep everybody in the infield, there's enough at bats through positional rotation and the DH to get everybody enough at bats. I think
the best teams in baseball have depth. That's the most important thing, and that's why it just infuriates me when I hear people just keep screaming from the rooftops, trade Jonathan India. You might not like what he does defensively at second base. I get it. I understand it. Paul, clearly, Indy will not start at second base in 2024. I get it. He's a very bad defender. Very bad. You could argue he's the worst defender in baseball. Saying that, offensively, he does more than enough to contribute for this team, for this ball club. At that point, I want him on the bench. I'd love to have Jonathan India as my off-day replacement, like you just said. Listen, teams throughout the year, and you saw it last year with the Reds, they go through so many injuries. It's 162 games. Right. Somebody's going to go down. Somebody is always going to go down. And if my options are Kevin Newman and Jonathan India, I'm going to take Jonathan India every single time, and I'm going to be happy about it.
David Bell didn't he get playing Kevin Newman?
Well, we can listen. Was that now? I don't know for sure, Mr. Strawberry Ice, but was that David Bell slander under your breath there?
Yes.
That sounded like slander.
He drives me absolutely nuts.
That sounded like the slander of a manager because David Bell, God love him, has done nothing but try his damnedest. And you might say, well, in 2020 and during a COVID season, they should have won it all. Whatever. If you want to say in 2021, when the team didn't have a bullpen and the front office made no moves whatsoever to help Heath Hembree, big league Heath Hembree was coming in the ninth inning. If you want to look back at last year and you say, well, they were projected 60 wins and they won 82, 83. You're looking at David Bell and you're saying this guy has been given nothing. You know how many players played for them last year in a game, Jeff? Do you know how many players?
A lot.
73. 73 different Reds put on a uniform last season. Do you know how hard it is to win a game when you don't know who the hell's playing on your team? That's a pretty difficult thing to do. And this is where the David Bell haters, they're like, oh, well, he didn't put in Reavers San Martin when he should have put in I'm trying to find someone, was one of the other bums we threw out there, Jake Wong. And it's just like, you don't know who's who. Our best reliever last year was acquired from the Athletics in a trade midway through the season. That was our best reliever. Alexis Diaz, you can say, sure, he was a great closer, but towards the end, the wheels sort of fall off. We had Ian Jabot, and I'm not going to go on an Ian Jabot rant for you here.
Two sides ever Jabot, the good side, the bad side.
Ian Jabot, God love him, God bless his soul. He pitched 2,000 innings last year, 2,000. This guy's not a good pitcher. He's not, and I say that with love. I say that with a lot of respect, but he's not a very good pitcher. And David Bell was forced to play him in almost every game. Every other game, Ian Jabot was pitching. And that's an issue. So David Bell, I'm not going to fault him. I get everybody's frustration when you don't see wins, but this is a front office who has failed now for the better part of 20 years, 25 years.
No, I agree with you. I don't. My David Bell slander is I get irritated with his moves that I don't think he has to make. I agree with everything you said. He hasn't been given anything. I also agree with this. I had Graham Ashcraft on here this week, Red starting pitcher, or last week, and he loves David Bell. The players love David Bell. And to me, Elliot, that's more important than being a, X and O guy.
So you're the culture guy. You're a fan of Zach Taylor then.
Oh, huge fan of Zach Taylor. Yes, exactly.
So this is where I disagree. So now this is where it gets crazy here, because on 3rd and 1, Zach Taylor's focused about his Christmas parties and his culture rather than just running up the middle for a yard and a half.
Yeah, I can't always defend everything he does, but I do like it. I mean, the thing is, when you have, that's the thing, when you galvanize a group of men and they are all going in the same direction, whether they agree with what your decision is or not, they are all right, we're going to do it. We're going to do it to our best of our ability. That is the part where I'm saying that's the more important part. You might not agree with all the moves he makes, but they all back him up and they're all like, all right, we're going to do what he says. Same thing with the Bengals and Zach Taylor. So that's where I say that part, not the Christmas party, but the culture in the locker room and the belief in what they're doing. If you believe in what you're doing, you believe in your team, you believe in your manager, you believe in your head coach, that is huge. And that's how teams overachieve. That's how David Bell has overachieved on his teams. Like 2021, I got pissed off because David Bell is fighting his ass off. This is fighting their ass off trying to get in the playoffs, and the ownership would not do anything.
Didn't help him at all. Didn't help him at all.
Right. But they got a couple guys at the end. It was over by then. It was too late. That I got so mad at that. So my David Bell slander has softened a little bit. He still drives me nuts with some of the stuff he does and some of the guys he falls in love with. It just I don't get it. But like I said, I am more, if the players bought in, that's more important, and they will go through a wall for you. And that's where I'm at.
I think that's fair. And you look at both coaches, and I'm hard on Zach Taylor. I'm probably too hard on him. I stick up for David Bell because I think it's two drastically different things. I think football is more like chess, right? There's intense strategy. You can have an elite football team, but they have to have a scheme. They have to have a game plan that fits each week in, week out. Baseball is a little bit different. Baseball is individual, right? So there's no game plan to you. Just each person's got to play good. If each player gets 2 hits, if each pitcher strikes out everybody they get, everybody wins, everybody goes home happy. With football, there's a game plan. There are plays. There are all these different things that come into factor.
But there's also a thing with it, he wears a damn bullpen out. That's the part. He
wears the bullpen.
I'll put it this way. The bases will be empty. Well, the guy will come in, mow the first 2 guys down, no problem. And then he goes to the bullpen. It's like, why?
Well, I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why right now. You ever see the movie Moneyball? Yes. It's one of my favorite movies, Jeff, but I'll tell you what, it ruined baseball because baseball is solely analytics now.
That's right.
David Bell doesn't make all these decisions. The analytics do. Just like when Brandon Staley, respectfully, and I say this with love and respect because that guy was a clown, every single fourth down, no matter where he was on the field,
for it.
he was going for it because that's what the analytics told him to do. Now, you saw what happened to Brandon Staley, unfortunately. He lost by 3,000 to the Raiders. But that's how most managers are in baseball. They're using analytics. They're using numbers. If it's a lefty, if it's a righty on lefty, no manager wants to see it because the analytics say it's bad. Lefty on lefty is the play.
I mean, I understand, and I think there are. You do need to use analytics. I don't want to base everything on it because every situation is different. So just because the numbers say it doesn't mean that's what has to happen. That's where I wish they would back off a little bit on it. But that's where one thing I will say that I'm very happy with that what baseball has changed, and they changed it again this year. Is I wasn't sure about the pitch clock. I had no idea why bigger bases would make people steal more, but damn it, Elliot, it all worked. I mean, it got back to. I was getting for baseball is boring. The 3 outcomes, the analytics, you swing or miss, you hit a home run or you walk. I'm like, dude, I that would drive me nuts. It made baseball boring, and I love baseball. The way they played this year is what made me love baseball. The hitting and running, the hitting line drive, not trying to hit the ball out of the park all the time.
Yeah,
you're stealing. I love base stealing, all this stuff. And now they've even shortened the pitch clock now from when the base runners are on from 20 seconds to 18 seconds, so it's going to go even faster. So I'm all for that of what they did as far as changing those rules.
What's crazy is I was against it because I think it's just silly. People get on baseball because of what you just said. It's boring and you don't get it. At some point, a sport is what it is, right? You either love it or you don't like it. I don't like hockey. It's just something I don't understand. I don't get the rules. But I'm not going to make the NHL change all the rules to be more like, I don't know, soccer, football, whatever you want to say, because you don't like the way it's being played. That's the sport. At some point, you can't change the core of the sport, what the sport is. You can't really change it.
They were changing it though,
and that was the thing though. And here's the crazy part: I was proven wrong because you were absolutely right. It made the game significantly better. Nobody wants to be out there watching baseball for 4.5 hours. Games were averaging what I think it was like 2.5 last year. And it makes it more fun. It's, by the way, and it makes pitching incredibly more difficult. You saw with Alek Manoah of the Blue Jays. I don't know if you know Alek Manoah. He was a very good pitcher. He was in the running for Cy Young 2 years ago, and this year he came in out of shape and it didn't work. I don't think he was ready to pitch, every 30 seconds like that.
Right.
Before it's you take your time, take 3 minutes before the next pitch. But now when you introduce that, it's a whole new ball game in terms of strategy because your guys got to have stamina. And that goes to the batter too. They got to be ready to play.
Yeah, Sean Casey would never make it in this.
Maybe not.
He would be the human rain delay. All right, we've been on for 53 minutes here. Let's wrap this thing up here. Let's go back to the Bengals here.
Give
me your prediction. If you got a score prediction, outcome, keys to the game for the Bengals to go on to victory here.
Despite what that clown Chris Zito is saying in your chat, the Bengals are going to win this football game. I think it should be a blowout. Do I think realistically it will be a blowout? No. I think the Bengals win this game 24-10. 24. I think it's a commanding victory. I think it's a 2-touchdown victory. How are they going to score? What's their game plan? If the Bengals can somehow shut down this pathetic offense, pathetic quarterback, they're going to win the game by 1 million. There's just no chance. Their running backs are the only hope they have, and I think you can shut down Najee Harris. That's the key to the game. 24-10 Bengals win.
There you go. All right, Elliot, I appreciate you, man. Tell everybody where they can follow you at. Are you on Box Lunch as well? Because I never get to watch that one. Is that actually on?
So Box Lunch is a paid membership thing. So if you support the Chatterbox, if you pay for the membership there, you get access.
Why I never get to see it. All right,
it's an extra show. It's an extra show you have to pay for, but it's a fun time. We do a lot of fun things on it. So shout out my guy Casey and Reed. But yeah, it's great. You can follow me at eTrain513 at ETRAIN at eTrain513 on all social media. But thank you very much, Mr. Strawberry Ice. Glad to see you. Glad to be on your show. Finally, we got it to work.
I'm glad we met at Bucketheads.
That was crazy. You were the very first person to ever walk up to me and say, "Hey, I recognize you." That was a very cool moment.
You're like, yeah. Every once in a while it happens to me. You're like, "Are you Strawberry Ice?" I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah,
It's a weird
like,
feeling. It's still a weird feeling.
yeah, like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Do you like me or not? Like, where are we going with this? So, well, Paul loves you, so there you
I love you,
go.
Paul. Paul, I love Paul Painter. Shut up, my boy Paul.
There you go. There you go.
And T Bowles, love you.
All right, hey, next time you see Pike, T Pike, tell him he's got to go on my show, okay?
All right,
And
I'll
tell Tom, all the guys at Chatterbox, they got to get on my show. I do a show every day. I need people to talk to.
I will tell the entire world to get on this show. That's what I will do. That's my promise to you. We will contact NASA, and we will have the International Space Station overlay a message in the night sky, and it will say, "Get on Strawberry Ice." This show on this YouTube channel. Thank you very much for having me, man.
Hey, make sure you go to Eliot for all your betting tips. He's a great game.
I wouldn't do that. You'll be poor.
See you, Eliot. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Eliot's a great dude. Fun. He's a fun guy on their show. They have a great time there on Off the Bench with Tom Burnham. If you guys subscribe to it, I guess you can go and do the boxed lunch thing as well. So tomorrow night, we'll get this out there again. Tomorrow night, just to remind everybody, we'll be live at Brink Brewery right there on Hamilton Avenue doing a live show. Me and Joe Farson will be on there. Joey from ZTV will be the producer. So if you guys were at Hail Marys 2 weeks ago, we did that. Hopefully Joey will leave his house a little earlier, and so we can make sure he's on time to get there. So Joey, if you're watching, leave about noon. So make sure you're there at Brink. We'll get everything set up. We're gonna have a great time there. Live at 5:30. We'll be giving away Bengals tickets live on the show. If you want to sign up for a chance to win Bengals tickets, go to ZTV Online or ZTV Cincinnati. They'll have it all listed there where you can go there and you can sign up. I think there's going to be a sign-up sheet at Break, but I'm not sure. But I know there's a sign-up sheet online, so make sure you go sign up there. Have a chance to win those tickets. Have a chance to win some cool stuff from Gathered Threads as well. We'll be giving that away right there at the bar. So make sure you go there and drink some delicious Jackpot Jerry beer, and we're going to have some fun and hopefully cheer actually get ready to watch the Bearcats play Stetson Cologne Friday night. That's who they're playing. They're not actually playing Cologne, but they're playing Stetson. So anyway, so my prediction for the Bengals Squealers game, I got it. I think I said 27-14, 27-17, something like that. I said it on the Bengals show earlier today, which you can go watch that from the Riverfront. I'll be on there. They'll be dropping that tonight. So I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go 27-17. I think that's what I said. Like I said, keys. We got to stop the run because that's all Pittsburgh has. We should dominate this game. I know Chris Zito here in the chat has been talking about the first game. Well, you played us when Joe Burrow was hurt. It would have been a completely different game if Joe was healthy. And you know that as well. So the thing is, and I like to point this out too, last time, if you guys remember last year when we went to Pittsburgh in the all-white Bengal Tiger, let's see here. Some guy named Jamar Chase didn't play, but some guy named T. Higgins went off. I'm predicting that again. I think T. Higgins is back. He proved he's the number one wide receiver. I think he's going to show up. He might get 2 TDs in this game. Chase Brown has been or is electrifying. He has made a big difference in our running game. It has turned Joe Mixon into a finisher, giving him less carries, less wear and tear on his body. He's more of a straight line guy that I've noticed the last couple of weeks with Chase Brown being here. I think it has made a huge impact on our offense. I don't see Pittsburgh. They're in shambles. Now, see, like I said, I say all this, it's kind of this one of those games where, it all could blow up in my face, but I'm going this way. I think this will be the first year Thomason has a losing record. We feel very bad for him. Had the smallest fiddle in the world. I do respect him, though, as a coach. He is a very good coach, but he's for the wrong team. Let's see. All right, Keith, you got blowout. 44-6. There you go. I like that. Tebow, what do you got? Tebow got 30-17. Let's see here. Zito, let's see. I'll just put you up here. What you got here? You got 27-13. I don't know who the Meows are. That team doesn't exist. Anyway, Zito, hey, man, I appreciate you coming on talking shit. That's fine. Hey, I don't take any of this stuff seriously. You come on here, and hey, if you win, come back on and make us eat crow. I don't care. If It'll suck because I can't stand your team. I think you're a bunch of cheap shot artists, but that should be Chops registering here. 24-17. Pretty sure it means the Bengals. Anyway, I'm going to get the heck out of here. I want to thank all the Facebook groups that let me live stream. I appreciate every single one. And you follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter X, and TikTok. Twitter X is at Jeff A. Trinipol. TikTok is at Iceman90 Threads. Instagram, Facebook, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'll be pulling the sound up later on tonight, putting it on the podcast. You can find it on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, or Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Leave a comment and a 5-star review so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. YouTubers, we're at 2,453 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you guys. ZTV, all right, guys, we are going to try to do some stuff to try. If you're watching my show and you subscribe to my show, 2,453 of you guys, if you could do me a favor, go over, subscribe to ZTV on there. Click on the link there to my show. Get everybody there because we might be doing some transition stuff here. Kind of hint. If you want to find my show, there might be some stuff going on here. Go to ZTV, ZTV Online, ZTV Cincinnati. Follow it on Facebook. Follow it on Twitter. Go to the website. Check it out. I would greatly appreciate it. Again, see you guys tomorrow night. Bearcats are playing Stetson Cologne. They should win. Hopefully they win by 30. And by the way, shout out to Joey Carr for the new intro. And if you missed the new intro, you got to go back and watch it. I actually got an outro as well. So appreciate Joey Carr and all his hard work he's done for me. Shout out to Eliot for joining the show. Chatterbox Sports. Tony Pike, you've been put on notice. You got to come on the show. Other than that, that's your sports, baby. See ya! Sports, baby.